Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design. Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
This is where the fun begins. What is up, everybody? I don't know, but we've seen this movie before. Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed? But you never know what the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say. Oh my God, y'all broke me.
Let me talk to you.
Hello! Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Hawg Pen. And like we have said in the video, and I've said it many times before, this is where the fun begins. Welcome to Season 8! I am Razorback Zach, your host from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, alongside my brother, my best friend, my co-host, and now it has been professionally proven he is, in fact, the glue that holds the whole damn thing together.
Oh, God.
MC Carlton. What's up, dude?
I was hoping you'd forget about that before tonight, but I should have known better.
How can I forget? You look, man. You throw a slow ball down the middle of the plate. I'm gonna.
I mean, I hung the curveball just way too much, and you went Albert Pujols on it. So
I mean, I'm just saying.
Charlie Welched it out past the left field stands.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Let's not go that far with it. All right. I'm like that once in a lifetime home run kind of dude, you know.
You more of a Brady Toops?
Sure. I don't know who that is off the top of my head, but we'll go with it. Glad to have everybody back inside the Hawg Pen. We have got a brand new show for you. As you can see on the side of your screen, we have done some big changes, including this badass intro that MC put together. That's awesome, dude. That's one of my favorite ones I think you've ever put together.
Appreciate that. That one just had a different feel to it once I started working on it.
So we want everybody to like, share, follow, subscribe, because Season 8 is going to be the most fun we've ever had. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, I'm no longer in control of this show. I'm a little scared, MC, but we brought in an executive producer. He's been with us for a couple of months, and he's been training and everything, and he's ready to fish without a net. And he wants to be called the beard behind the board, Jesse Thurman. So we want to bring him on and give him his props for a minute. Jesse, man, welcome to the team.
What's going on, guys? It's almost time.
It is. When Inside the Hawg Pen comes back, everybody knows we are 4 weeks away from Razorback Football. But Jesse, man, like I said, I want to bring you on for a second. I know you're a busy guy back at the Sideline Radio Network, and I wanted to bring you on, give you your props, man. Look forward to working with you this season.
Look forward to bringing new and exciting adventures to Inside the Hawg Pen with Razorback Zach and MC.
You better not put me in timeout, dude. That's all I'm saying. All right, we'll let you get back to
no
it, bud.
promises.
Crap. All right, MC. So here's the deal. Got a whole brand new sponsor. We've got 3 new sponsors now. We've got Meeks Design Company, of course. Great design. Makes the shirts that we wear. All right. Number 2, our live fan feedback is now sponsored by Cam Productions. So if you want to get in on the action, leave us a question or comment in the Cam Productions live fan feedback. And 3 big announcements. Let's kick them off. Number 1, August 29th. Yours truly is going to be broadcasting live from the new Harris Made Chef Services tailgate and the new Harris Made Chef Services tailgate show. It's going to be amazing. This dude loves to cook. He's going to be cooking for us. He's got a tailgate. We're going to be out there. It's going to be a good time. Y'all come see us. All right. Y'all come see us. Number two, this Friday, I've teased it all week long. Now I get to announce it. This Friday, 8 years in the making, I will be live and in person on the Dave Ellswick Show from 10 to 11 a.m. On 101.1 The Answer. We're going to have all of that hooked up on our Facebook page. We're going to let you guys have all the links and everything. And for those of you that don't know who Dave Ellswick is, he is one of the biggest names in talk radio. And to get on his show is an absolute honor, and it's a blast. And I'm so excited. And shout out, by the way, real quick, MC. I know I'm bouncing. I got to get all this. Got to get all the rust off on this.
Got to get it all out, man.
Shout out to my dad for making that connection with Dave Ellswick. Thank you, Dad. He is actually watching. Him and my mom and my entire family is. So I have to be on my best behavior.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But number two, for the 4th year in a row, September 28th, mark your calendars. Little Oktoberfest. They're at a new location this year. We are back, going to be broadcasting live from there. I am, of course, probably going to be your MC. They're still working some kinks out there. But I will be your MC, no pun intended on this guy, of the event. So y'all make sure to get it. It's at the Rusty Tractor Vineyard from 6 to 9 p.m. We'll have all of that on our Facebook page in the next day. And then, dude, let's jump right into this.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready. I'm ready.
You've been working on a project for the last couple of months, and we recorded a podcast about it. If you haven't checked it out, go to our podcast. That's the only place you're going to find this episode. Yep. I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed?
I lay it out, not to spoil the podcast. Everybody's got to go listen and make their own opinion. But I if we were in court, I would be presenting exhibits 1, 2, 3, and 4 right off the bat. Just a little sample. You start looking at, most obviously, the foul ball 2018. You can look at the Clint Sterner fumble. You can look at you can even go so far as to say this, the way the baseball season ended for Hagen Smith after being so dominant all year long, one bad inning, and just, that's what he's going to be remembered for. It's one of those deals where curse is a word that you can kind of take and run with, and I go through the definition of curse and everything, but it's those freak occurrences that happen. Bad calls happen, bad plays happen. But these freak occurrences, like the foul ball, like the Clint Sterner fumble, they just seem to keep happening to the Arkansas sports programs. And I kind of lay out the evidence where you could trace it all the way back to 1969 in the big shootout against Texas. There's been at least one a decade since then that you could point at.
Let's tease it a little bit further. And you even have one instance in there, and we can go ahead and talk about it real quick.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Arkansas.
So I present a little evidence of a game that directly affects the curse of Arkansas that Arkansas did not play in. And if you want the explanation, go find the podcast. It's on every major podcast outlet that you can think of: Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Amazon Music. Pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast, we've got the Inside the Hog Pen podcast out there available. And this should be the first one to come up on the list because it's the most recent one we've recorded.
Yep. Go check it out. You have to listen to it to get all. We're not gonna spoil it here, but I do want to ask MC. All right.
Yeah. How
do we break the curse? And I've got a theory. I got a new theory that I've been thinking of in the last day or two since we recorded it.
Yeah.
Okay. Go with me on this little journey.
Okay. All right.
Let you go through the football season. Everybody thinks Sam Pittman's going to get fired. Okay. This is completely out of the realm of possibility of ever happening. All right.
Okay. All right.
He's 2-4. He gets fired. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby P gets named interim head coach. You run the table. You end up 8-4. How do you not name? It'll never happen. Of course, it'll never happen.
Oh, I never say never, man. We never thought Calipari would be the basketball coach either.
Well, we also never thought Bobby P'd ever come back to Arkansas either.
Very true. Yeah, we even said so.
We did a whole podcast about it.
Yeah, we did a whole show on it, and 24 hours later, boom, he's back.
It's like we recorded this podcast on a Monday. By that Wednesday, we were all eating crow on the show. But you name, how do you not name him the next head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks? And there you have it. The curse is broken. Or
I'm willing at this point, man. I'm willing to do anything to break it,
except sacrifice another live chicken.
I mean, maybe not on the live stream, but
I don't know how Facebook and YouTube would take that.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of scary if you ask me. But and like I said, it's a 45 minute podcast. Go check it out. We lay it. Well, MC lays it all out there. I go to school. Fantastic points, very valid arguments, and there's another nugget in there where I think the curse can be broken. You're gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, that makes an interesting case for how to break the curse.
I'm just saying. Justin Ross Garrison in our Cam Productions live fan feedback says we're not cursed, just not clutch. I mean, yes and no. I mean, MC, what do you think? I mean, we're not.
Well,
clutch
I think you could make an argument for that if it was just one or two of these freak occurrences, as I call them. But how many times does the same out of the norm thing have to keep happening before it's no longer a coincidence? So I'll tighten my tin foil down a little bit. I just really think that there's a lot of evidence over the years of you see these things happen and continue to happen. And to me, it just seems like that there's more going on than just not stepping up when the lights are the brightest or not being clutch.
Well, okay, but at the same time, let's look at this as a broader perspective here. Okay, I'll use basketball since you're the basketball guy here.
Okay,
all right. And it's more prevalent in basketball that I've seen than it is in football.
You can make the argument, yeah.
We get down and in these big game situations, we get down. We start blowing leads. You start seeing guys jack up threes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In football, you start seeing guys like KJ last year and the year before that start trying to throw the home run ball instead of just playing pitch and catch. All right. And we've seen it numerous times in baseball where you're not playing to win the game, but you're playing not to lose.
Playing to not lose. Yeah.
Okay. And everybody starts what we like to call swinging for Jesus when they're trying to hit home runs.
That will always be funny. It will always crack me up for some reason.
Again, between you and Sam Jones, I'm gonna have a book of puns, man.
Yeah. So we got to read Carolyn's comment here. Apparently, early on, the votes are coming back from the fan base that I'm in the minority by thinking that we're cursed. Carolyn Williams says, number 1, no curse. Number 2, all we need to do is show up in the big moments. Number 3, I do not think actually people realize how hard it is to be just good in so many sports across so many seasons. Look at all the Hogs tearing it up at the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's fair. She makes a good argument.
I mean, you've got, I want to say, I saw it, and it was 25 athletes representing 15 different countries that have that are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah. That's very good representation. And
Carolyn's right. But Carolyn's right. we are, we are known as the track capital of the world. I mean, the world championships are held here.
Right.
Okay. The national championships are held here for the NCAA. All right. You're not going to find a better track facility than Arkansas. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just basketball, football, and baseball. Those are just the big three, because you still have softball. You still got golf. You still got tennis. Did you know we had a rugby team by chance?
I did.
I didn't know that.
I knew that we had one. I don't know how much success they've had. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken here, I believe it's a club sport, meaning that it's not sanctioned by the NCAA.
It's more or less, it's like
it's kind of like the hockey team.
Yeah, the hockey team.
Yes,
the hockey team. But I mean, again, go listen. Like I said, go listen to the podcast. Lays it all out there. But that's not why we're here. This is not that podcast. What I want to talk about this week, and we do it every year. Again, welcome you guys that are just joining us to Season 8, Episode 1 of the new Inside the Hawg Pen. And here's the thing. We do it every year. The first 4 weeks of the season is kind of like the preseason talk still. Yeah. Talking season's over.
Season, baby.
Now you're guiding into Game 1, which is Thursday night, August 29th, 6:30 p.m. in Little Rock against UAPB. So we're going to talk about the offensive side of the ball, because we've got some new pieces to watch. And I'm going to lay all that out there for you. Jonathan Parker, what's up, JP? He says, glad to have the show back, guys. Can't wait for the season to start. Tune in 1, 2, 3 weeks when I give my prediction. You may not say that. You may not say that.
Wow. Way to set it up, see?
Hey, I've been practicing in the offseason, dude. I've been sharpening my craft. What can I say? Trevor Kaiser, which, by the way, I said it last season on our season premiere for Season 7. I'm going to say it again here. Trevor, I did not drink the Kool-Aid, but I will explain why in the next couple of weeks. Jonathan Lewis from Neckbeard Sports says, what's up, guys? Can't wait for the season to start. Hey, y'all go check out his stuff with Outlaw JPC over there. We will have, like I said, we're guests on his show all the time, and it's a fun time over there.
Royalty.
Royalty is in the house.
Royalty in the house.
Speaking of which, Dave Ellswick says, thanks for the nice word. Hey, Dave, I'm looking forward to Friday to having a conversation about the Hogs, man. Thank you for tuning in tonight. MC, so let's jump straight into looking at the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, meanwhile, Jesse's throwing these comments up. I want you to think on something.
Okay.
We have no idea what this team is actually going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been I think it's safe to say you're going to have a complete overhaul on the offensive side of the ball between the new offensive coordinator and the new quarterback, the new running back. I mean, there is no Rocket Sanders. There's no KJ. You got some pieces back at wide receiver and tight end. I think there were some changes to the offensive line as well, without diving too deep into it and getting off into the weeds. You're going to see a completely different looking offense from what you've seen the last, I guess you could say, since Pittman got here, because the style that we're going to have this year, we don't really know what to expect. We knew what to expect with Kendall Briles. We knew what to expect to an extent with Dan Enos. But now coming in with Bobby P running the offense, and it's not going to be just a complete 2010, 2011 Bobby Petrino offense. The game has evolved. His coaching style has evolved. The players have evolved. It's not going to be the same. That's the big, to kind of date myself here, that's the $64,000 question, is what is this offense going to look like?
Well, but at the same time, like you said, you don't have Rocket, you don't have KJ,
right?
You don't have Dan Enos. Here's I could say things that
we'll leave it there. We'll just leave it there.
But here's the thing, all right, and here's why I say be careful drinking the Kool-Aid this year, because as it stands right now, based on past, Arkansas, I mean, most people don't have Arkansas going more than 3-9 and finishing 14th in the conference.
Yeah, and I mean,
However,
you've seen the predictions of
exactly
12th, 13th, 14th, whatever.
However, this team is so unknown right now that you have the possibility, and I know somewhere DMAT is watching, and I'm never going to hear the end of it. I can't even bring myself to say it. You have the possibility of going 6-6. You just because that's the thing, you just don't know what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's a lot of questions, and there's just a lot of unanswered questions coming into the season, more than we've had in a long time. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last time we had this many unknowns coming into a season, and I mean, would it have been maybe Pittman's first year?
It's
Hard to say, man. It's really kind of hard to say when we had, because the last.
Okay, so but when you look at it, you knew what the team was going to look like in 2020 when Pitt took the job, okay? Because we were coming out of the dark ages,
right,
of Razorback football. We're not even going to mention that dude's name. I still get triggered a little bit, but you knew what was going to happen. Did I think that we were going to have Georgia on the ropes in the first half of the first game of a COVID year?
No, absolutely not.
Did I think we were going to beat LSU and Tennessee that year? No, I did not. I did not have that on my bingo card.
No.
But you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yeah, it's you had staples coming in. That first year you had Felipe Franks, you had Treylon Burke. You had some pieces.
Did we have Treylon in 20?
Oh yeah, because he was a freshman under.
That's right.
The other guy.
That's right.
But you had some pieces. You knew what to expect. The last couple of years, you've had KJ, you've had Rocket, you've had just those the pillars, if you will, of the Pittman era, and now they're gone, and you don't know how it's going to work out. You read all the stuff that's out there now about how these guys are gelling together, how things are working pretty well in practice. But I mean, let's face it, we kind of hear that every year. I want to see actions are louder than words. I want to see it on the field, and no disrespect intended, but I'm looking to see it beyond Pine Bluff, because let's face it, that game is going to be kind of a glorified scrimmage.
And over the course of the next 4 weeks, we're going to be breaking down the schedule and going. We're not going to go in depth.
Right.
But we'll give you a snapshot of the games to come. But I honestly believe going into game one, look, if the starters are on the field to start the third quarter, something's wrong. Unless Bobby P is going to take the risk and just going to play with them and try different new stuff. Because I don't think he's going to open the playbook in its entirety.
No.
Okay? I don't think he's going to open it in its entirety.
No, I think you get that Coach Boone playbook from Remember the Titans. You got 6 plays, just like Novocaine. Give it time, and it always works.
Hey, I love that movie. Hey, we're going to step away on the other side of the break. We're going to dive deeper into the offensive side of the ball. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this.
Mixed Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mixed Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mixed Design.
Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach hanging out with you alongside my broadcast partner, Marcus MC Carlton. All right, dude. So we kind of segued into it beginning of the break. Now we get to dive off a little deeper. And there's a couple of new pieces that could have a breakout year. Could have a breakout year. You've got Taylor Green, who, and I apologize earlier in the show, earlier in this last season, I called him Taysom or Tayson. It's Taylor Green. He is a redshirt junior, 6'6", 230 from Boise State. I think, and again, from what we saw in the spring game, I'm a little scared. Kid's got, here's the thing. The kid's got an arm, but he was not as accurate as I thought he would be.
Well, but he was also, trying to pick up a new offense. Didn't have much time for chemistry with his receivers. I don't know that what you saw in spring is going to be a fair representation, because you had all of spring, you've had an entire summer for these guys to go. And I mean, we've seen the videos of him over at Fayetteville High, right, throwing balls to some of the high school receivers and some of his teammates here. So, I mean, honestly, it's going to come down to the work ethic of these guys and how hard are they going to work to get better. And I think that's where Petrino comes in, because we all know Petrino is such an advocate for attention to detail and the little things. He's going to point out the little things that, as cheesy as it sounds, it's going to be the difference between winning and losing, is going to come on that 3rd and 6, where we've got to have 6.5 yards to get the first down. That attention to detail is what's going to get us those conversions.
Well, but at the same time, and you got a new running back, Jaquindon Jackson, redshirt senior, 6'2", 233 out of Utah. This kid, he's quick. And we were talking in pre-show that he has the ability and he has the opportunity to have some DMAD like qualities. My executive producer is dying right now. Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anxious to see what this guy can do. I tried to look up some of his footage from Utah, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't remember a lot about him. Right. But he's coming in at 6'2", 233. He's got good size. And I don't think he's going to be depended on to carry the ball 25, 30 times a game. I just don't think that's going to be the offense. I think you're going to see Green passing the ball a lot. And then it's almost, this is just me taking a stab in the dark. I think you're going to see this team use the pass to set up the run.
Well, you've also got Luke Haas, Ty Washington, a tight end. But here's the thing. I've got 5 wide receivers that I think are going to be your starters. You got a mess of wide receivers that are up and coming. Some are up and coming, but these 5, Jaden Wilson, 6'3", 178. Andrew Armstrong, obviously 6'4", 202. Isaac Tesla, obviously, he's a senior, 6'4", 217. Tyrone Broden, 6'7", 200. And Isaiah Satania, 5'11", 185. So there's your 5 wide. So if you want to go, throw the offense, let's throw the opposing team, the defense off balance, put 5 guys out there, and then tell Taylor Green, take off with it. If you don't have a guy open, run with it. Because the problem I have is the last couple of quarterbacks stand there and freeze in the pocket. We've even talked about it. They just kind of stand there and wait for these guys to get open.
Yeah. But I don't think you will see that, because, again, I go back to what we've seen with player development, especially at the quarterback position with Petrino. And I hate to keep sounding like a broken record with the attention to detail, but think back to what he was able to accomplish with Casey Dick. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but if you look at the talent level of a Casey Dick compared to a Tyler Wilson, or compared to a Green, or even maybe like a Malachi Singleton, I think it's fair to say that Casey Dick, while he may have had a great IQ for the game, he was going to be the least athletic of all these quarterbacks that Petrino has worked with. And Casey Dick put up some record numbers in that first year under the Petrino offense.
And he also put up one heck of a block for D-Mac. I know it wasn't in the BPR era, but still, come on.
You can't mention his name without mentioning that block. So
you can't. Because even Vern Lundquist on the call, and I know we're getting off in the weeds, but even Vern Lundquist on that call was like, was that Casey Dick?
Right.
Sam Jones says, contrary to beliefs, this is by far the most talented team Pittman has ever fielded as head coach. If Saban had this same roster, it'd be a playoff contender. We will go 3-9 or 9-3. Well, I mean,
most talented roster that Pittman has had. I'm gonna have to think about that one, Sam. I'm not sure.
I 2021.
Yeah, that's where I was.
The 9-3
the 9-3 season. I mean, yeah,
bumper pull. Grant Morgan on defense. I mean, it's hard. It's an argument. It's an argument that can be made.
Yeah.
He chimes in again and says, "My concern with the BP offense is what it does to our D if we're scoring super fast. Can our D stay fresh enough to contain the other team's offense?" Exactly. That's the other thing. Okay. And again, we'll get into defense next week. But Bobby P, what's he known for?
Yeah. High scoring,
high
octane offense.
What's Sam Pittman known for? Taking his
I don't know.
Exactly. Taking his foot off the I hate you right now so much. You gotta love the first show back where we're getting all the rust off. He's known for taking his foot off the pedal, and I don't want to see that. Okay. Yes, it needs to be a complete blowout by the end of the first quarter in 3 weeks. Has to be.
See, I don't think it will.
But you don't? Wait, you just stop me dead in my How are you going to do that?
Go ahead. I'll come back to it.
Go ahead. You done threw the e-brake. Go ahead.
I don't think it'll be blown. I think it may be well in hand by halftime.
Okay.
But it would not surprise me in the least at the end of the first quarter if we're not looking at a 14-0, 14-3.
Oh.
I just have a feeling that between the new offensive schemes, all of the new key pieces on offense,
right?
I think there's going to be an adjustment period once that you can't practice for, because we all know that once the lights come on and you get into game time is different from practice time. No matter how much you've practiced it, it's just different when you get into the game. And I think that first quarter will be a bit of an adjustment phase. It would not surprise me in the least to see Arkansas come out and score within 2, maybe 3 plays of their first offensive possession. But then I think they may struggle for a couple of series. And then, I really think into the first quarter, I would be pleasantly surprised if Arkansas has more than 2 touchdowns.
Well, and again, just like us, all right, y'all see how bad I'm stuttering and tripping over my words. Just like us, the first 3 weeks, we're knocking the rust off. We'll be good by game week, I promise. Yeah. Okay, MC will be good by game week. I'm just gonna be here.
You'll be there. Yeah,
let's just face facts here. No, but the biggest test of this season by far, early on, is not UAPB. That's not going to be the
right.
marker that's going to flip this season on its head. Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
That's the of the non-cons. That's the game right there.
Well, and especially for the defense, because Oklahoma State has a superstar running back. You probably heard his name because he got into a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Ollie Gordon.
He likes the juice too much.
Coach Gundy has made it clear that he's not going to be suspended. He'll be playing in the Arkansas game. And I mean, this guy is he's a stud, man. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me a bit to see him go for 150, 160 yards in that Arkansas game.
I mean, you've got a lot of opportunity here to have a breakout player. All right.
Lots.
This kid, Taylor Green's got an arm. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But can he make the big play when it matters and not Superman it at the goal line? Okay. And not fumble the ball at the 2-yard line. Okay. The mistakes are going to be made. Okay. The mistakes are going to be made because, again, these guys have hit each other the last couple of weeks. They haven't had a real in-game scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's not 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, don't freak out. Do freak out if War Memorial Stadium runs out of this. Then you have every right to freak out. Let's not have another debacle like we had last year, which is part of the reason why I'm going, just to see what happens. JP, Jonathan Parker says, if the O-line isn't any better than last year, the weapons we have won't matter. I do believe it will be better than last year on the O-line. Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. Stole my thunder.
Don't underestimate Eric Mateos working on that offensive line and his glorified grad assistant.
I have a theory
Bring it.
as to why the offensive line was quote unquote so bad last year.
Okay.
They didn't respect KJ.
I think that's a fair argument.
They did not respect their quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. All right. Yes, I'm talking about KJ, but it doesn't matter because he's now UCF's quarterback. I know. I don't care. Here, let me explain why. The guy shows up in a 2023 Ferrari. Okay. I'm not a Ferrari, Corvette, excuse me.
Corvette, yeah.
I got
It
my
looks like a
sports car.
Ferrari.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're beautiful. He flaunts all these Louis Vuittons and these Gucci's and everything. And he's flaunting all this NIL money. And he has a cocky attitude. Okay. Look at the pieces of the puzzle. Okay. The offensive line was not as bad as people think. And yes, I'm defending what's the dude's name?
Cody Kennedy.
Yeah, don't even say that name. I'm defending him to a point. The talent was there on the offensive line. They didn't respect their quarterback. Okay. They didn't respect their leader. So they just let him get hit. Okay.
We did see a lot of what I would call bullfighter style last year, where you just kind of step to the side and go, ole.
There were a lot of them where I mean, we saw some of the replays where an O lineman just stepped out of the way.
Well, and we even saw, there were media outlets around the state that would take some footage and break it down and just be like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand how this guy is missing this block when it was, and so the questions were raised about were there chemistry issues between the offensive line and the quarterback. And I think you have a point to stand on there. I think there were some issues. Was it jealousy? Was it just not getting along? We don't know. We weren't in the locker room. We don't know. But it was obvious that something was not, they were not like this. It was more like this.
Here's when your quarterback's making, all this money and your offensive line's only getting barbecue sandwiches. And then on top of that, you're watching Polar Express during halftime.
Well, and the whole NIL thing, I mean, that we're not the only ones dealing with that. That's
but
across the country.
But look at it though. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then to sum this all up, I forget who said it, but I think it was on ESPN Arkansas, on the morning rush, I think, a few months after the season ended. One of the guys was being interviewed, and he said something along the lines of, we've now gotten all the cancer out of the locker room.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ironically, Dan Enos had gotten fired, Rocket had transferred, and KJ had transferred, and then this comment's made.
Well, and to me, I remember other comments that were made by players and by coaching staff, and I may have read way more into it than what was there. Again, let me tighten down my tinfoil here because I'm known as the conspiracy guy. You
conspiracy guy? No,
yeah, no, wild. But there were comments made about leadership and how Taylor Green is such a vocal leader, and and the guys were very careful with how they worded it. But when you have talked about the things that you and I talked about all of last year, whether it's warranted or not, you're going to read between the lines.
Oh, absolutely.
And say, okay, this is not about what he said, but it's about what he didn't say. and you draw your own conclusions. I mean, we've talked about this via text and, in big Facebook groups and everything. And we're not the only ones, because I've had text conversations with other people about this as well. It's like, hey, did you see the comments here? What do you think about that? And had some friends say, well, that tells me a lot.
Well, when you have a head coach that comes out on Monday morning and go, well, that's not what we practiced.
Look,
okay.
I can feel the PR guy cringing right now.
But here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. You can't have that this year.
No.
Pittman is playing for his job.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's coaching for his job.
He's coaching for his job.
He's coaching for his job every game. Every game. Carolyn Williams chimes in and says, it isn't about the money. Travis Kelce says, the greatest thing about Mahomes, or is that Taylor Swift? Oh, no, that's Patrick Mahomes, is that every player knows he is fighting for them. KJ was only about KJ. I mean, yeah.
It's fair.
I mean,
that's fair.
You don't have to come out and say it. Watch his body language.
Whether they want the title or not, the quarterback is the leader. They are the one that is looked to in the huddle when things get tough. And when you have a big moment in a game, who does all the focus goes to the quarterback to say, hey, we got to get this. This is a big third down. We have to get this. Yes. Everybody do what you got to do for us to make this conversion here. Some guys are vocal leaders. Some guys are leaders by actions. And some guys don't want that leadership role cast upon them. And as talented as previous quarterback was, I think that he did not enjoy being the one that everybody looked to. This is me looking from the outside in. Obviously, I wasn't in the huddle. I wasn't at practice. But to me, comparing to what I've seen from other Razorback quarterbacks that I would consider field generals, he was not a Tyler Wilson type. Tyler Wilson is one to me that seemed like he had everybody on offense. He had their full attention at all time.
Yeah.
And he could call them out. And I mean, you could even go, there are other guys you could name as well, but he was the first one that came to my mind.
Well, okay. And wrapping this up, because I know we're about to hit a break.
Right.
Here's the thing. How many times did we see KJ rolling his eyes when he came?
Body language was not good. Yeah.
That's my point. You know? All right, MC. So I got to ask you, what is your biggest concern on the offensive side of the ball?
The line. The offensive line.
I'd say the same thing too. I mean,
it all starts up front. I mean, this is SEC ball. The two lines, your offensive line, your defensive line. That's going to determine your success.
I'm not worried about receivers. I'm interested to see how this quarterback and running back do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you get Ty Washington back and healthy at tight end. You get Luke Haas healthy.
That's huge.
Back at tight end. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because you potentially, and I said this early on, and I said this off screen, but you could potentially have another dynamic duo at tight end in the shades of Hunter Henry and DJ Williams.
Yeah.
So, all right, I've got to agree with you. It's got to be the line too.
Yeah.
But we are up against a break. On the other side of the break, we are going to have a new segment where we open the hog pen and talk about whatever you guys want. All right? So get your comments ready. Get your questions ready. Get your stones ready to throw at me because I know you got some.
Bring it. I got no bruises here, man. I'm ready. Bring it.
What he's saying is he's going to move and they're going to hit me. So there you go. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Bobblehead Zach, Razorback Zach, has made his appearance for the first time this year. If anybody knows anybody at Funko and can make me a bobblehead or a Funko Pop,
That would be
Funko
cool.
Pop,
That
one,
would be cool.
whatever those things are called, dude, I'll take one and I'll pay for it. I don't care. I mean, how many people can you how many people do you know that can say I've got a Funko Pop made after me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think
But-
it's kind of mounted right here.
right. Oh, he might make an appearance on the show and just be me for a segment or two. But so we're starting a new segment this year, and it's called Opening the Hog Pen. The name of the segment is pending. We're still figuring things out. If you have a better idea, let me know. But for those of you in the Central Arkansas area, if you guys have listened to 103.7 The Buzz, they do a thing during football season called Razorback Graffiti, and this is kind of what it's modeled after. We're not stealing anybody's thunder or anybody's idea, but this is kind of an offshoot of that. So, during the break, our EP told us that he has these comments rapid fire, ready to go. So here we go. Starting off with other royalty in the house. Mama Linda's in the house. Says, "Hi guys, so glad you're back." Hey, we're glad to be back. I was beginning to wonder, MC. I was beginning to wonder if I was even going to have a job.
There's the other half of the dynamic duo, Casey Sutton.
And for my mother that's watching, I don't mean my day job. I mean this job. I promise. And the other half's here, Casey. For those of you that don't know, Mama Linda and Casey have been with us probably the longest. And for those that also don't know, Casey Sutton has kicked Cancer's ass not once, but twice. So sorry, but you can't take the top spot from those two.
Yep.
Sorry, Jesse. Gary Davis says, "Yo, boys, glad to see you back." Hey, like I said, we're glad to be back.
Yep.
Just bear with us these next 3 weeks because we're a little out of practice.
But it feels good to be back sitting in the chair here and getting to talk a little bit about Razorback sports. I've missed it. The summer was too long. Baseball ended too soon. We'll talk about that at a later date. But it's nice to be back and talking about it again.
I am going to preview one thing. I am going to toss a little nugget out there. You are hyped as I have ever seen you hyped for basketball.
Oh,
you are,
son.
I'm gonna have to get you. I'm gonna have to get you a damn seatbelt.
When you talk about never say never, none of us, nobody on this show, in the comments, watching it YouTube, watching Facebook, watching Twitter, nobody ever thought John Calipari would be the coach of the Razorbacks, and I got to admit, I'm still getting used to it. It's not. It has sunken in, but it doesn't seem right. But
I'm not bought in yet.
Dude,
Not yet.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
Okay, that I have because I got this vision of that scene in Willy Wonka with the chocolate.
Yes, that's what I have. That of Razorback Red Kool-Aid ready to go for basketball.
Wow. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is how dedicated I am to you fans. This is how much I love you guys. Yes, James Harris is correct. I gave up a tour of Baum Walker Stadium tonight to be here on Inside the Hog Pen. So believe me when I tell you, I love this. I love what I do. I love this show. And I trust me, I had the decision and I wanted to be here tonight. So I am okay with that. Sam Jones says, "I am just thankful we hadn't had to listen to KJ say iron sharpens iron. Hell, NIL money rust iron in." I mean, I wasn't going to say nothing.
If the shoe fits, brother, if the shoe fits.
Hey,
Richard, we have optimism in the house. There we go.
See, I love you, Richard. I really do, and I know you're optimistic every year. Again, tune in 3 weeks when we break the schedule down.
I hope you're right, brother. I hope you are.
I hope you're right, but I just don't see it. Hey, real quick, I'm going to throw our new EP curveball. Hey, put up Loki's comment, Jesse. Not that one. The last one he put up. The one about
that one's great though.
That one is great. I saw the River of Slime from Ghostbusters 2 when MC said River of Kool-Aid. That too. That's fair. That's fair because all the negativity going to the program. That's great. That's great. Hey, by the way, show some love to our new EP. He's doing a fantastic job running boards tonight. He is now known as the beard behind the board. Carolyn Williams says, "I would just like to see us start coming out on the W side of some things of these one-score games."
Amen.
Yet put a hurt on the people we're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Pitt, quit taking your foot off the pedal. I know you want to be a nice guy. I know you want to be respectful. But I'm going to tell you right now, Lane Kiffin don't give a damn about your job.
Yep.
Brian Kelly don't give a damn about your job. Okay? They are playing to beat you.
Mm-hmm. It's them or you. Somebody's got to go. And they're not going to sacrifice themselves to save your feelings.
No, absolutely not. Jonathan Parker says, what do you think is more possible?
That's a good question.
For a receiver, and who do you think it would be? Okay, first off, let me just caveat and say, JP, you're not allowed to ask those kind of questions on show number 1.
That is a great question.
No, I mean, it is, but it's not
solid.
because it's not fair because I'm not thinking yet. Nobody
I'll
say
throw
anything.
one out there. I'll throw one out there.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the receiver, and I'm going to say Isaiah Satania.
Really?
Because I see Satania in this Petrino offense being, I'm not saying he's Joe Adams. I'm saying he plays in the style of a Joe Adams.
He may be short, but that little dude is quick.
Speed kills, man.
That little dude is quick.
Gary Davis comes in. Concerns, number 1, the accuracy of Taylor Green. Number 2, both safety positions. They should have moved Jaden Johnson to outside linebacker years ago, and Clark is better at cornerback than at safety. Again,
Did I not say it in pre-show?
Man, y'all bringing it tonight because show
Did I
1
not
and y'all
say-
are bringing it with the comments.
Did I not say Hudson
Yeah.
Clark got burned at safety?
Yeah.
Did I not say? Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. Carolyn
Go ahead and
Williams
take
says,
this one, Zach.
does anyone else think the expanded playoff will turn the rest of the bowls into freshman bowls or 4 strings?
You know how you,
I'm-
okay, yes, I think
Yes.
there's an issue there. And you know how you solve that? When you sign these guys to NIL, you put a clause in there that says you will play in the bowl game.
See, and that's and again, we can get off in the weeds on this,
Mhm.
but I cannot stand the ones that opt out of bowl games. Because let me tell you why. Let me
Yeah.
tell you why. Football is a team sport, ain't it?
Last time I checked,
Okay. Treylon Burke sitting out of the bowl game. Bad
I
idea.
didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it because you helped get us here, and now you're going to sit out the biggest game.
Yeah.
Now you're going to sit the reward out.
And it's wild to me because the public perception has changed, and the majority of the public is like, he's got his future to think about. Well, okay, yes, he does, but if it wasn't for his teammates to put him in this position, he wouldn't have a future to think about. I'm an ultimate team guy, man. I of course, now that said, I've never been in the position of a Treylon Burks or another player of that caliber where I have to make the decision of, am I going to look out for myself here and protect my future, or do I feel like I owe my teammates? I don't envy anybody to be in that position because it's easy for me to sit here as an old man and, never been that caliber of an athlete and say, I wouldn't abandon my team like that. It's very easy for me to say that because I'm not faced with that position. I can understand both sides of the coin, but for me personally, I'm going to feel like I owe it to my teammates.
Okay. So let's put this in perspective of another sport.
Okay.
You don't see these basketball players sitting out the NCAA tournament.
You don't see anybody sitting out at Omaha either.
No, you don't. So why would you sit out a bowl game? Okay, all right. I'm about to make my EP's head explode because he's watching our time. Let's say Arkansas makes the playoff. Do you sit out then? Or do you play because you're in the playoffs?
I mean, if Arkansas was to by some way make the playoff this year, I don't think you see anybody sit out because I don't think there's anybody coming into the season that is that caliber of a hyped player.
I'm just saying, you didn't see Bumper Pool or Grant Morgan sit out the Outback Bowl, did you?
Well, and I'm thinking about these guys that are top draft picks, top 5, top 10, you could even go top 15.
Carolyn Williams brings a whole new great comment talking about Omaha. Says they didn't even sit out at Omaha when the draft was before the tournament.
Right. And I mean, you're talking about baseball versus a contact sport in football, but the same principle applies. It's still a team sport. Dusty about broke both of us with this comment here. Dusty Hunt coming in strong said our whole team set out Omaha. We've set out Omaha the last couple years. So
Jesse put Sam Jones's comment up there. That's the one that broke me. That's the one that almost made me spit water everywhere.
Like that, and oh my God. You want to read that one or you want me to?
I don't know if I can read it with a straight face.
All right, so Sam Jones, if you're new to the show, and we've got some new names in here tonight, and thank you for watching. Sam is our dude that brings fire with every comment. And prime example right here, Sam Jones says, man, NFL money will make you abandon your team like a dad in the 90s that was going out for milk. I mean, that's
just
NFL money is life-changing. But if you look at a Hagen Smith, I mean, $8 million may not seem like a lot on the baseball scale, but that's life-changing money. So,
oh yeah. Mama Linda says, I think Bobby has convinced the players that it is a whole season, not just the schedule. Well, okay.
I hope you're right.
I hope you're right. But again, this is previewing some later shows in the next few weeks. We've seen spring ball. We've seen fall camp. We've seen the summer workouts. Okay. We see who is hired. Bobby P. I would be cautious in drinking the Kool-Aid because we drink it every year. We get hyped up. And then we take Kansas to 3 overtimes, a mediocre Kansas team, 3 overtimes to beat them at the Liberty Bowl. And then you completely turn around the very next year and crap the bed. And I mean, I'm talking like my girlfriend's daughter's blowout, her diaper crapped it bad. All right. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
So we have I didn't realize that Armstrong was on the Biletnikoff watch list.
I didn't know that either.
I think you could make an argument for him being one of the breakout players this year. And we haven't talked about much tonight, and we'll get into the defense more next week, but we can't go the whole show without mentioning T. Will and what kind of impact we expect him to have, and the type of publicity that T. Will has gotten lately. You can't put a dollar amount on it.
You can't buy that. You can't buy that at all.
I know defense is next week, but I had to show a little love in there for T. Will, just simply because of the notoriety he's been getting between Twitter, Pat McAfee. I mean, T. Will and the defensive side of the ball, they have been all over the place from a publicity standpoint.
Yeah. Jesse, put Carolyn's comment up there. That's a very valid point. I'm going to touch on that for just a second. I think everyone is putting a lot of faith in the magic of Bobby. He has not been impressive since he left, and he has shown me absolutely nothing yet. He has a long, long way to go for me to get back up on that bus. I think that's a fair shake for most of the fan base.
Yeah.
Because this is, look, guys, this is not, for those of you that are wondering, this is not the same Bobby Petrino that was on the back of that motorcycle. I mean, that was here 12 years ago. Okay. Yeah. He has tempered a lot. He has been humbled. He has been humiliated a lot.
But Carolyn, let me throw a counterpoint to you. When he came back in his press conference and he talked about how, if looking back in hindsight, he never should have gone away from here. And I mean, obviously it wasn't his choice, but his actions is what led to him leaving. I think, while I think you have a valid point, I think you're going to see a Bobby Petrino that comes in with a chip on his shoulder, with a Bobby Petrino that feels like he owes the fan base of Arkansas something. And so I think he's going to be as motivated as possibly he's ever been in his career to prove that he is still the offensive genius that he was once labeled to be. Because you are right. When he was at Texas A&M, when he was at Missouri State, he didn't have the dynamic offenses that he became known for at Louisville and at Arkansas. And I think he's coming in, like a starving man on a Christmas ham. I think he's
Did you like watch Remember the Titans before the show?
I introduced my son to it earlier, like a week ago. So everything is fresh in my head right now. But I really do. I think he's going to come in very motivated with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. Dusty Hunt coming in saying this is his last chance to save face. That's another reason that I think he's motivated, because I think he realizes this is his one final shot to restore some of that legacy that he once had.
So what you're saying is this is his opportunity to break the curse.
Could be. Very well could be.
See what I did there? See what I did
full
there?
Circle. There we go.
Not the only ones with quick hands, are you? Okay, for those of you that don't know, that was a Rush Hour 2 reference. There, I admit it. I'm a movie buff, man, and if my parents are still watching, they raised me right. We can have. Look, I'll get off in the weeds for a minute. My family and I, Thanksgiving meals at my mom's house is very interesting because we all can have a whole conversation in nothing but movie quotes and know exactly what we're talking about.
Yep, I know the feeling. It
is the weirdest but coolest thing ever. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. MC, final thoughts before we get out of here for week 1.
After tonight's show, man, we are one show closer to the start of the season, and I'm ready to come back next week and talk about the defense.
Oh, the defensive side of the ball. I have some
concerns. Yeah, coach.
I have some concerns on that side of the ball. You're just going to tune in and find out. Mm-hmm. All right. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Dave Ellsworth, for joining. Thank you to my entire family for joining tonight and watching. That means the world to me. Big kudos to our EP. You did a fantastic job, dude. And to you, the fans, for coming back. I know we've been gone a while, but you guys have never, ever failed us. And I love you for it.
I got one thing I got to throw in here just real quick. I got to shout out my cousin Dylan Woolard and his wife Ashley. The Hog fan base has grown by one today as Kennedy Allen Woolard was born at 9:34 a.m. this morning. Mama and baby and everybody's doing fine. Can't wait to see this little bundle of joy for myself and be one of the first ones to teach her how to call the hogs.
Hey, that reminds me too. I got to meet my baby niece last weekend.
Very cool.
Weekend ago.
Very cool.
Scarlett Danielle, my youngest sister's second kid. So
that's
she
awesome.
is as cute as a button, and I'm going to teach her and my nephew both to call the hogs. Promise you that. I promise you that. Hey, like I said, thank you guys for watching. We will be back next week to talk about the defensive side of the ball and whatever else we want to say, because let's face it, you never know what we're going to say the very next time. I'm Razorback Zach for Marcus MC Carlton. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.